I am repelled by psychological manipulation tactics, yet I'm also interested in them, interested in talking about them, interested in exposing them, because I think it's important to do so. I think it shows it shows that they have the manipulators, the baiters, the would-be controllers, those who employ these kind of tactics, that they have a certain sophistication as far as knowing what works on the human psyche. And I wanted to just talk about a couple of things that I have observed as far as this goes. You can call it trolling or baiting, but just a couple things that I have noticed. One thing is they find ways to slight you, or they find ways to insult you, or to make you feel left out, to make you feel like you've been slighted, make you feel like you've been in some way targeted, and they do some kind of tactic, like they list off a bunch of names of people who should be given credit and leave your name out, and your name is the only name that's left out of these names of people who are being given credit for some task or other. I'm not referring here to anything specifically involving me, but this is just something I've noticed. So they do that. They leave out your name, and then you are put in a position where you feel slighted because you have been slighted. And yet, if you say something in response to this, if you say, "Hey, excuse me, you didn't mention my name," then it's as though you have you're just out looking for reasons to feel insulted. They respond to you as if, what? We didn't mean to slight you. We didn't mean to leave you out. And you're just, and then well, I guess it's gotten to be called gaslighting. I guess that's the term for it now. That's gotten to be widely accepted, where they try to turn it around on you and say you're the one who's making a big deal out of this by pointing out the slight, and you say, well, I'm not making a big deal of it. I'm just saying that this slight did happen. But then they try to make it as if it's your issue, and that's sort of the playbook as far as I've found. They do something in some way that just these little irritations, these little ways in which they either mention you in a way that's a little derogatory, or a little bit like they're expecting you to just be a good sport, as they mock you for one reason or other, and you're expected to just laugh along with it, and if you take issue with it, then you're just you don't have a sense of humor, or you take yourself too seriously. So it's either that, or again something else, something like I've just mentioned, where they leave you out, or otherwise don't acknowledge you, or don't treat you in the manner that is that is worthy of of which you are worthy of being treated. And then the test is somehow if you respond to this, if you take the bait or not. If you do take the bait and you complain, or you make it known your lack of appreciation for what's happened, for what they have done, then they say, looks like you're pretty upset, and then they make that the issue. They say, look at how upset he is, look at how upset he's acting, look at how miffed he is. This is him, this is how he is. He's just someone who goes out looking for looking for slights and looking for reasons to feel insulted, and then they use that against you. Somehow what they did, what was a wrong on their part, becomes something wrong with you. So this is just something I have noticed, and my suggestion, if you find yourself in this kind of position, is not to take the bait, right? Now, I had a recent issue where my son wasn't being given proper benefit, proper respect for something. I had to stand up for him for that. When it's your son, you got to do it. You got to stand up for him, and I did. And I'm not sorry that I did. But if it had just been me, if it had been a question of not my offspring, not my son or my daughter or somebody, that it's in my dominion to protect and to promote and to shelter and to stand up for. But if it was just about me, I would have just taken it. I would have just not done anything about it. I would have just stood by and accepted the slight and not complained about it. And that's, I think, what you have to do, because unfortunately, so much of, it seems, human interaction, if you find yourself among the wrong kind of people, it devolves into this kind of thing, these kinds of tactics. Especially if you are somebody who they want to, psychologically demoralize, or psychologically terrorize, or psychologically, do some kind of mischief to, then you find yourself on the receiving end of these kinds of things. So it's like a balancing act. You don't you have to stand up for yourself, or you have to not just bow down and not just act like in some abased manner, like like you just really want them to be your friend, and you'll do anything. Don't act like that, but also don't go the other route, where you're just incensed all the time. You've got to just take their petty little gestures, their mean little. I hate to use this term, but it really holds true. These kinds of microaggressions. I really wish that term hadn't been stolen by stupid people and used to mean something stupid, because there is such a thing as little petty things that people do that are meant to get a response out of you, and the whole idea is, if you respond with irritation, then it becomes about you. Then you get branded or labeled in this way. And people don't see that you've been manipulated, you've been treated in a manner that's irritating and unfair, and you're responding to that. They don't see that. They just see your response, and they think, oh, there's something the matter with this guy. He must be X, Y, or Z. He must have, anger issues. He must have psychological problems. Sadly, it works in a lot of cases, because people don't wait around to hear all the facts. They just see someone responding in a certain way, and they think that response of that person is the entirety of the event, when it isn't. So, in conclusion, if you find yourself on the receiving end of this kind of treatment, if your own offspring has been slighted, you got to stand up for them. But afterwards, you got to just kind of let it go, and thus be freed of these kinds of vicious people and their petty games that they play for nefarious ends, whatever those ends might be. My name's Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com or lowstatusnovelist.blogspot.com.